Hello everyone, welcome back again to Liverpool Report today. We've got the latest updates on our beloved club Liverpool. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of Liverpool Report news. Let's get started. Jamie Carragher has criticised Liverpool's forwards while defending Mohamed Salah, claiming Liverpool rely on the Egyptian too much and that he needs more help from his teammates. Salah has been in excellent form so far this season, netting 32 goals and providing 22 assists in 43 appearances across all competitions. But he struggled to make an impact in the Carabao Cup final as Newcastle beat Liverpool 2-1. In fact, it was only the third time that Salah has failed to record a shot or create a chance in a Liverpool game he has started. However, Carragher leapt to Salah's defence after the match and insisted the likes of Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota, Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo need to step up more. It was probably one of the worst performances I've seen from Liverpool in a cup final, Carragher told Sky Sports. But they've given so much this season and they've lost one league game. It's hard to be too critical, but it has shone a light on areas where Liverpool still need to improve. I think the lack of pace in attack is glaring, and I almost feel a little bit sorry for Mohamed Salah. He took a bit of criticism after the two Paris Saint-Germain games against possibly the best left-back in the world, Nuno Mendes, who was fantastic. He didn't do too much and he wasn't great today, but he doesn't get help from the other attackers. This isn't like under Jurgen Klopp, where Sadio Mane or Roberto Firmino could bail them out of trouble. The other attackers Liverpool have got are good players, but they're not great players. They've relied on him Salah too much, so I don't want to see too much criticism of Mo Salah over this last week. As a result, Carragher believes Liverpool need to sign 2 new forwards next summer to play alongside Salah, provided he agrees a contract extension. What it's shone a light on is that Liverpool need to go out and buy 2 attackers, not as squad players, but possibly to play alongside Mo Salah, hopefully, next season, he added. I've been excited thinking it looks like Liverpool are going to win the league and there is still lots to improve, and I think they will in the summer. Liverpool's sole focus will now be winning the league, with the Reds currently sitting 12 points clear at the top of the table with 9 games left to go. Arne Slot has defended his decision to put Alexis McAllister on Dan Burn at corners after the towering Newcastle defender scored in the Carabao Cup final. Newcastle beat Liverpool 2-1 at Wembley on Sunday, thanks to Burn's powerful header from Kieran Trippier's floated cross and Alexander Isak's classy half-volley. Slot threw on 5 attacking substitutes in the second half, and 2 of them combined as Harveyelliott set up Federicochiesa, but his goal in added time was too little too late. The Magpies were much the better side and deserved their first domestic trophy in 70 years, but their dominance raised questions for Liverpool. The ease with which 6 feet 7 inches Burn beat his marker 5 feet 9 inches, McAllister to power in the opening goal, left many Liverpool fans bemused on social media. But Slot was quick to point out that Burn's effort had an expected goals XG of just 0.03, and that his zonal marking system, in which Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate and the other best headers of the ball guard, the 6-yard box, has worked well from set pieces in general this season. Again, credit to Newcastle, but I can explain, he told reporters in his post-match press conference. We play zonal, so we have 5 players zonally close to our goal, so if the ball falls there, it is always one of the 5 stronger players that are going to attack that ball. And we have 3 players that man mark, and Maka is one of them. Normally, a player like Dan Burn or another one runs to the zone because normally, I think he's an exception to that, because I have never seen in my life a player from that far away heading a ball with so much force into the far corner. That is part of logic, that they either have to go far away from our zone, which 99 out of 100 times will never lead to a goal, or they have to arrive in our zone, and then it's an equal battle, if you want to call it like this. So credit to him. I think he's one of the few players that can score a goal from that distance with his head. Speaking more generally about the match, Slot said, "The game was slow, not intense. The game went exactly the way they wanted, with a lot of duels and a lot through the air, and if we play 10 games of football through the air, they win 9 times. That is what led to the first goal and the second. We were outplayed in their style, that is true. They won more duels. It was a disappointing result, a disappointing performance, completely different to how I felt after the PSG game. I want to make it clear that the week started really well by beating Southampton, which extended our lead to 12 points. We are in one of the biggest clubs in the world, but it is not the first time they have lost 2 games in a row, especially if one is when you face the best team in Europe at the moment, and the other is a strong Premier League team. After Alexander Isak had lost Virgil van Dijk and half-volleyed Newcastle United towards a first domestic trophy in 70 years, Mohamed Salah put his hand on his hips and trudged silently back upfield. To a man, his teammates did the same. Even Van Dijk, even the skipper, was unable to raise a shout of defiance or conjure up a gesture of encouragement. It was an empty response in a largely empty performance, a performance devoid of all the things that have turned the Premier League title race into a Liverpool lap of honour. Dynamism, determination, imagination, intelligence, physicality, fight. Yes, if you had told Arne Slot how his first season as Liverpool manager would pan out, he would have signed for it. In a heartbeat, probably. But he would not have signed for a display as limp as this in a Wembley final. For a while now, celebrating a tackle or a block has been a thing. And we are talking full-blown fist-pumping celebrations. Joelinton, an outstanding performer, was at it midway through the first half after tracking back for a good few yards and dispossessing Jarell Quansah. Considering it was a relatively routine piece of work, his primal scream was a bit much, but Joelinton's roar was a loud symbol of the difference between these two sides. In the 52 minutes it took for Newcastle to take a 2-goal lead, the opener a thumping header from Dan Burn, late in the first half they were so much more intense, so much more committed, so much more aggressive. It was startling. Quite simply, the Premier League champions-elect were, up until the final throws of the match, a passive shambles of a side. Clearly, there was a physical issue in play, that extra time against a supremely fit Paris Saint-Germain taking an obvious toll. Newcastle's midfield made Liverpool's midfield look ponderous. And there must surely have been psychological factors involved, the dramatic nature of their Champions League exit, creating an inevitable sense of deflation. Plus, with the Premier League title as good as sealed, perhaps one or two, subconsciously, feel their hard work is done. And to a certain extent, of course, it is. The pain of this loss was immediate, but there can be no diluting Liverpool's Premier League achievement. And when the season is over, they will be able to reflect on it with pride. But you have to wonder if there will be any ramifications from this one day. It did not help Salah's Ballon d'Or cause, that is for sure. These last few days have not helped Salah's Ballon d'Or cause. In fact, it is probably not even a thing anymore. It would be too easy, and unfair, to highlight Salah's lack of impact in this final because he was just one of a bad bunch. But it was a nudge to those pundits who say Liverpool should give Salah whatever he is asking for. It was a reminder that he turns 33 in 3 months' time. It was an explanation of why Anfield executives cannot just produce a blank check. An explanation of why the analytics people will be giving them warning figures. And although Federicochiesa's late strike produced a tense finale, Salah himself might look at this team performance, as might the absent Trent Alexander-Arnold, and wonder if a new challenge is the way to go. Again, Salah was not alone in underperforming, and one game should not scar his stellar season. But no one is indispensable to a club like Liverpool, and this painful defeat proved that.